Welcome back to the warm-up. So yesterday, Bradley Beal was traded to the Phoenix Suns for Chris Paul and Landry Shamet. Kind of a trade that shocked everybody. It was one of those trades where it had a no-trade clause on it, on Beal's contract, and Beal's making $50-something million a year. But very, very interesting trade, I think. I don't think it benefits either party. I think the players of the Wizards got back for Beal do not help in a rebuild whatsoever. Not even close. You have a 38, 39-year-old Chris Paul who isn't playing amazing. And that's coming from me, who's my favorite player of all time is Chris Paul. So, and then getting Brad Beal back to the Suns, on paper, it's okay, you got D-Book, you got KD, you got Brad Beal. That's crazy. All three of them are three-level scorers. Some of the best scorers we've ever seen in the NBA, in the history of the NBA. And so, I don't know why they did this. I think this past playoffs, the Suns proved that they needed depth and that they needed, a real point guard. Even though, they had Chris Paul in campaign, but they really needed the point guard to help D-Book and KD get more, catch and shoot opportunities instead of them just holding the ball the entire time. And they didn't get any of that. They just got Brad Beal. And so their bench just got even smaller and less intimidating. It was not intimidating in the first place at all. But, I don't know what they're doing here, honestly. We will see. I think they have no shot at winning a ring without any further additions being made to this team. I think that needs to be a huge asterisk. Don't take that out of context when me saying that. If they don't make any changes to this team, they will not win a championship because I don't think they're going to beat anybody in the Western Conference right now. There are just some really, really solid teams. Now, there have been some things going on with Draymond declining his player option and potentially not re-signing with the Warriors in the summer. So if he goes to Phoenix, that's a completely different story. If he goes to LA, then LA has something that they could possibly take down Phoenix with even more because I think they beat him in the first place. But very, very interesting. I really don't know what's going on anymore. I feel like I started watching basketball religiously in 2014, 2015, and it's been 10 years since then. And I grew up playing 2K, my league, my GM. You have your own team and you trade for players, and it's after a decade, you just get to a point where all these players are in just different teams, and it's how the heck did they end up there? It's you look at it now, it's Kyrie's in Dallas, Ben Simmons is in Brooklyn, James Harden's on the Sixers, AD's on the Lakers, Kawhi and PG are in the Clippers, Brad Beal and Kevin Durant are on the Suns. It's just how the heck did we get here? And so, I don't know what the Suns are doing with this, but hopefully they'll figure it out. We will end up seeing. But at the end of the day, I think they're not going to be able to beat anybody in the playoffs with this squad. I think they'll be a great regular season team, but, Kevin Durant, if he doesn't get injured, that's a different story. But if he's injured, then it's just D-Book and Brad Beal show all day with, lack of a point guard, and then DeAndre Ayton, he's got to show up too. And so I just think, along with the Suns firing their head coach, I just don't know what's going on here anymore. I'm from Phoenix. I'm a Clippers fan, but I'm from Phoenix because the Suns sucked my whole life. And so I just don't know what they're doing here. And I hope they figure something out because they sound like a fun team. I love Kevin Durant. I like Brad Beal a little bit. I used to trash on Devin Booker, but he destroyed my Clippers in the playoffs, so he's been fun to watch. But, I hope they figure it out. Other than that, I have no idea what they're doing. Other trades. This is gonna be a fun summer. Going into next year, I think it's just gonna be a Nuggets repeat. If I'm being completely honest, they've got a really solid team. It might be Nuggets Bucks, where Giannis is completely healthy through the playoffs and he just steamrolls everyone because he was injured in the first round a little bit, and so parity is slowly starting to fade away as we get some good teams that are making their presence shown after years of rebuilding. And making good trades and great drafting, and the Suns just haven't done that. So, we'll end up seeing. But there's a lot more news we got to go on about and talk about. I think for Thursday, I'm very interested to see. I know who's going to go number 1, but I'm very interested to see who goes number 2 and 3, because I know Charlotte has number 2, and I watched a little bit of Brandon Miller highlights the other day, and I was just like, okay, he's like what I saw was like, okay, he's a good like DeAndre Hunter, but like better shooter. And so I also saw a comparison of him being like Danny Granger. So we'll see how that goes. I'm really high on Scoot Henderson and the Thompson twins. I think the Thompson twins are like, I mean, you can't be a sleeper if you're top 5, but I mean, those kids are woof. Like any other draft, those kids are number 1. Like, oh my gosh, those kids are very, very talented, work super hard, quiet, just walk in, they'll give you buckets all over the court. And so I'm very interested to see where everyone goes on Thursday, but I'll do a little bit of a better mock draft video for that before then. So anyways, catch y'all on the next one. We will end up seeing where people go at the end of the summer. This is a great start to the 2023-2024 free agency. So yeah, this is